when you've been doing these podcasts and you have a variety of guests and you're interviewing and you're learning about them, what's something that stands out, like when you talk about being the podcaster and you look at all of these interviews that you've done and you've learned so much about people, what's something that, like a theme that stands out that you might tell your students, that you might tell your students about, this is what I'm hearing from people who are, at this level in their career or ahead or in their 40s or 50s or whatever the case may be. What's something that you take away from these podcasts that you might go back to your students and say, hey, this is something I want to share with you?
Oh, that's a beautiful question. People are incredible. Wow. Yeah. Like, people are truly incredible. Every single guest that sits across from the seat from me it has a fascinating journey of things that really make us be a human being. Wow. Those pieces around, like you've said before, around being resilient, about having to push through challenges, having to, pull themselves back up from being, fired or having horrible situations happen to them. And yet they're sitting across the seat from me and they're telling me these incredible stories. It is just fascinating. And I just, that's, I think, the thing that gives me the amount of hope. You hear all of this technology and AI and all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but the people. The people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, they really are so cool. And I feel so honored that people just sit in the chair. Mm-hmm. I ask you a few questions and they open up.
That's wonderful. You're very easy to talk to. Yeah, I think that's the thing. People. And I tell my students that, like, you have to connect with people while you're here, as many different people as you can possibly connect with, because there's a saying, it's on my LinkedIn page as my banner, and I don't remember it, but it basically says I'm totally paraphrasing. It says something like the punishment of living in multiple places is that you're going to miss the connections of the people that you've built and the people that you've grown to love. You're now going to miss that because you're going to go move somewhere else. But that's the joy out of it too, is, you're the sorrow of moving away from people, but the privilege of getting to know people in multiple places. And so, if I know people who've lived across Canada, Vancouver and Halifax, and even within the Canadian context, they say, well, I have friends in so many different places that are so far away from each other, but you also have the privilege of knowing people in so many different places and understanding their varied experiences, and then absorbing all that knowledge into your own kind of mindset, I think is really, really important, because people, right?
Yeah. Wow, what a great conversation. Thank you for listening to this episode of Let's Talk Careers. If you liked this episode and want to hear more, follow us on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. See you in the next one.